Next is anime Godzilla.
Let me get a sip before we start.
So I finally finished the trilogy.
Hmm.
Finally said I'm gonna buck up and I'm gonna watch this final film.
Hmm.
I liked it.
Did you,
Uh,
now off camera to the viewers at home? Adam mentioned to me before we started what he like a few small things on it, and I had a slight reaction. So you said you liked the third one a lot, right? That's what you said.
Not a lot. I said I liked it.
But you know what I mean. In comparison to like the other ones.
Oh, I liked it a lot more than the other two.
So Adam, I'm gonna give you my finally. I'm gonna tell you right now, Adam. I agree with you. I sat there watching that movie. I don't think it was great.
Oh no, me neither.
I don't think any of them were great, for the record. But that one was like so kind of like they started diving into this really weird territory. That I was on board. I was with.
Oh yeah, at that point I was on board.
I liked, even though I think the design is lame as hell. Conceptually, I liked what they did with Ghidorah. I don't know for
Yes,
Ghidorah. I don't know for Ghidorah, but like as a monster itself, I think that's an interesting idea.
me too.
Yeah,
Me too. I personally loved the sort of Lovecraftian aspect they put into King Ghidorah,
yeah, yeah.
where King Ghidorah just does not give a fuck about anything, and he doesn't give a fuck about you. He
Yeah.
doesn't give a fuck about Gamera, and you know what? I mean, spoiler alert, everyone out there. Spoiler alert. I love the reveal of the true villain.
Yeah,
The true villains are those religious alien
yeah,
people
yeah.
that you think were the good guys the entire time. It turned out that they were the villains. I
I like
like that.
to me the biggest problem with those anime movies is that like I just felt I really do feel like they just had like no direction. I actually like I watched a few videos on them just to like give myself a brief reminder because I watched them when they initially came out and I told Adam the second one specifically I have the least memory of because
Oh, I hate the second one.
yeah, the second one's just not that
I
good.
hate
Yeah.
the second one on
Um,
rewatch.
but like it's like the thing that those movies is that like they go kind of too anime at times, and I'm like, it's obviously they kind of have to, and I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase this, but like it just the main character isn't fun or like interesting.
Well, this is my big problem with anime in general. I have this bad in Attack on Titan.
Hmm.
Their main protagonists, their main characters, the heroes are always pussies.
Yeah. Well, that the thing is that's also a trope. Is that it's a character who like is super whiny and then slowly
Well,
grows to
that's
become
one reason
calm.
why the Godzilla saga is going through another massive rewrite was because I was reading it through and doing my editing. I'm like, my God, my main character's a pussy. I need to change
Yeah, the
this.
thing is, I totally get what you're saying, and I do agree with you, but I don't hate that trope. I know a lot of people do, and
Well, I love it in Evangelion.
I think it works. It just needs to be written properly and not the same. Just like I'm whining now. 5 episodes later, I'm cool now. Like,
No, you're right. You're
um,
right. Excuse me. Yeah.
I did like also with the third Godzilla anime movie, and like I will mention, I think the biggest sin these movies committed as a whole is that they're just boring, especially like the first one.
Oh, the first one. Oh my God.
So much.
And you know,
They
I
had to build
like
world.
dialogue-driven films. I love dialogue-driven films. I love exposition. I love all that stuff. That film is nothing but it.
Yeah,
And I'm like, you didn't
like
need it because the universe is complicated. Don't get me wrong, but it's simple enough that you
yeah,
didn't need that much exposition.
yeah. It just I remember like literally after we actually a bunch of friends and we met up to watch it when it got on because we just were excited, and
Yeah.
like we all had that universal just like there was just too much like exposition, too much dialogue, too much world explanation. I'm like,
Which I love the world personally.
I think that's a cool idea.
I
I just
think it
wish
reminded me a lot of that fan film that came out a while back, directed by a douchebag, called Godzilla X the Kaiju Killer,
I'm unaware of what this is. So
which it's about this guy who's like on a penal colony. He's like the last human ever because the monsters destroyed the planet,
yeah,
and he returns to Earth. And it's the aftermath of everything
yeah,
with humanity gone and everything's grown up. And I love that. And I love the fact that they bring up that these humanoids that are on the planet are human, but they're not.
yeah, yeah.
They're descendants from us. They're what would have happened if we succeeded on this universe or succeeded.
Are you talking in the short film or actually from the anime trilogy?
Oh, from the anime trilogy.
Yeah,
No,
you're talking like the insect people, right? Like those guys.
they weren't in. Well, they're plant people,
Oh,
but yeah, the people that worship
yeah,
Mothra
yeah.
essentially,
Um,
and so on and so forth.
yeah, it's just like another thing too with them is that I felt like they had a lot of moments where it's like they're hitting that stride. They hit that stride where it's like this can be really cool, but it never finally popped. You never to me, I never got that point where it was like I feel satisfied now. It just kind of like it's like here's the
Oh,
point, and we're gonna rip it away from you really quick.
oh my God! The last 5 minutes. Don't get me started on Godzilla, the Planet Eater.
Yeah,
The last 5 minutes where Haruo commits suicide,
yeah,
I thought flew in the face of all of his character development.
yeah. Because like I actually so like I actually misinterpreted that scene when I first watched it. I thought it was initially supposed to be like kind of a symbolic thing
Hmm.
because like Godzilla was his being throughout this entire series is that that monster was really the thing in his way. But like he does it because like the nanometal that's only in him and I think the girl that he has, if that can like bring back Ghidorah or something, and like I misinterpreted it. So like when
No,
I found that out, I was
you
like,
see, then that completely went over my fucking head.
yeah, it's like the nanometal is like it was something nanometal, dude, like just nanometal.
Well, my biggest issue with the second film, which goes into the second film, is that they promoted it as Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and
Yeah,
it's not.
yeah, it's Mechagodzilla,
And
bro.
also, it just doesn't make any lick of logical sense whatsoever.
Yeah, yeah,
I love the idea. There's so many things in this trilogy that I'm like, I love that idea, but they did nothing with it. The religious aspect,
yeah. That was cool. I thought that
that
was
was cool. That was cool.
scary too. It like in the third one too. Like when like Ghidorah's actually like going to people's heads. Like that was actually like a slightly like kind of scary scene. I
Oh
won't-
yeah, I loved that. Yeah, I really like that. Well, I just love the fact that they turn out to be the villains
yeah, yeah,
when it's not built up like that at all. And like, well, I also admire the balls on the directors and the film directors. One, for making such a weird universe, but two, they blow up that ship.
yeah, yeah.
That's like 90% of the human
Like
race right there.
I don't like automatically writing off these anime movies. I really don't because
Me neither.
I
Yeah.
think there's some interesting things in them. The problem is it just isn't executed well to me at least. But do you like Godzilla's design?
No.
Yeah, to me he looks like a saddle.
Well, I have a fundamental problem with this version's Godzilla, not because of what it is,
Yeah,
but because he's way too big.
I, dude, I don't understand why we keep have to making Godzilla bigger. Like it's
Like, I don't understand.
I don't
Like,
get it.
to me, you can make Godzilla 164 feet tall and be fine.
Yeah, it's like
In fact, that's what they did. A lot of the Millennium movies, with the exception of Final Wars, he was just 164 feet tall,
yeah,
including in GMK. In GMK, he wasn't that big. He was smaller than a lot of different interpretations of Godzilla, and yet he still kicked ass.
yeah, yeah. I don't know why we
So,
have to like keep trying to one up the size now. I don't think it's necessary. I think
yeah,
it's almost kind of irrelevant.
I think it's gotten to the point that I think it's too silly.
Yeah,
That how large this Godzilla is in the anime trilogy is ridiculous.
yeah, yeah,
And unfortunately that affected the battle too, because they're so big, they have to move so slow that nothing happens in that entire fight scene.
I also, unfortunately, I don't think another thing that hinders this anime trilogy is that like, and I've actually my stance on this has changed a little bit as I've seen some more stuff, but like 3D anime just doesn't look good sometimes, and you really need to absolutely nail it. You need to nail 3D anime,
Yeah, I've
and
never been a fan of it.
I don't think this does it at all.
I mean, it's all right. I've seen a lot worse.
I know
But
there's worse. There definitely is, but like even at the time, I was just like something just always felt off to me, and like some of like the 3D stuff I liked recently. And I'm gonna show this movie really quick because this is still my favorite movie of 2019 and probably 2020 because there are like no movies coming out. Um, I saw it was by Studio Trigger. It was Promare, and what that movie does, it's a mix because Studio Trigger mixes 2D and 3D animation, and this was like the most flawless mix of it, and I'm still bewildered every time I watch it.
never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't think it. I don't really know if you'd like it or not because like it does have a lot of like kind of.
I have a lot of problems with anime.
Yeah,
do.
I know
I
because
just
we
have-
talked about this before. I don't
Yeah.
know if it'd be your thing or not, but like it really was my favorite movie of that year. and I still fucking love it. And also, there was an anime that came out called Beastars, which was I was
Oh, I like that.
yeah, Beastars is good, and like the 3D animation is really solid for it. Like, and I was really happy when I heard it was gonna be 3D. I'm like, oh, because I like the 2D art from the mangas, and no, but it looked good. Like,
Yeah, I liked Beastars.
yeah,
Beastars, so that
Beastars is
was all
good.
right.
Yeah.
It was everything I wanted Zootopia to be.
Well, yeah, because Zootopia had the Disney hindrance where they couldn't really actually go to the nitty gritty thematics to it, which Zootopia still does a good job. I think it still does a good job of doing it.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I'm not a huge fan of Zootopia just because I know the politics behind it and the making of the movie,
gotcha.
regardless of what the movie says itself, and I'm not a fan of that.
I took him on face value, so I'm not.
But yeah, Beastars tackled what I wished Zootopia could.
Yeah, Beastars gets really into it. Like it gets
Yeah,
really dark at
and I
times.
love it.
And even like the anime censors some things too. Like it can get really dark at times in the manga. I swear,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I
Well,
appreciate it.
well, they're having that problem with Junji Ito stuff,
Yeah,
so on and so forth. But yeah, but anyways, I thought the third film was good. It was my favorite of the trilogy by
that was
far.
it was my favorite of the trilogy too. It was the one I was the most invested and interested in as I watched it.
And yeah, I mean, I still think Haruo's a pussy,
Yeah,
and I don't
or
think.
was just not.
But I know a lot of people were laughing and saying, "Oh, they fucked," him and that fairy.
Whatever.
Well, no, no, no. I actually liked what they did with that.
Yeah,
I did.
it didn't really.
Because I liked the whole idea of what's failing to those people, and to them it is ceasing. Period.
Yeah,
And so their idea of succeeding is reproducing and breeding, which of course I'm like, you know what, that makes total sense
yeah,
from their culture wise. I am on board with that. That makes logical sense for their progression.
yeah.
And I liked that aspect. I did. Um,
You know,
Again, it's
yeah.
the
I'm
problem
for
the
that.
problem with the anime trilogy is there's so much cool shit in there and they do nothing with it.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely nothing with it. Especially with a universe as crazy as that. I'm like, you're basically making Fallout
yeah.
with
What's
monsters
there
in
ever an
it.
explanation why there was like remember in the first one they were like the really tiny kind of flying monsters and like those just never show up ever again? Was that ever explained
I
or
always thought no, they were in the third one.
they were? Okay, my bad.
Yeah, they didn't do anything, but they were in there. I thought they were just sort of part of that universe now.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, for 50,000 years is a long time. 50,000 years is like a huge chunk of human evolution.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, that's a long fucking time that we're gone. I like that aspect, but yeah, they just don't do anything with it, and I'm like, this could have been such a great universe.
Yeah, yeah.
If somebody handed me like make a movie within this universe, my mouth would have been watering at the amount of shit that you could do.
And
But
again, I
yeah,
think the biggest shame to it is that like there's a lot of cool stuff there. It just unfortunately never really is explored to its maximum.
but there is one thing I will say that was consistently great throughout all three films, and it was the music score.
Yeah, yeah,
I love the music score. That guy also did the music score for Space Godzilla and Godzilla 2000, and I think this is his best work. And I personally love the decision that he made for the Planet Eater, where instead of going really big and really bombastic or really epic, he did the opposite. He went really small with the score, and he went really personal, and I loved that decision.
yeah,
Like you expect King Ghidorah's theme to be huge and epic and a choir and everything like that, and it's not. And it's not. It's very quiet. It's very somber. It's very creepy. Haruo's themes, instead of being bombastic like they were in the other films, suddenly they became very small, very personal,
yeah,
very quiet, and I really loved that decision because
yeah.
to me, his music, because I'm a fan of his best scores, in my opinion, are the ones where he goes really quiet on. Like if you listen to Space Godzilla and Godzilla 2000 score, especially Godzilla 2000, I don't think his marches are very good. I think where he succeeds in droves are those tiny moments where it just sort of builds some kind of an atmosphere, be it a creepy atmosphere, a dark atmosphere, or even a lighthearted one. or one of kind of awe. My favorite track that he ever composed is from Godzilla 2000, and it's when the two scientists discover and witness seeing Regenerator G1, Godzilla cells regenerating
Yeah,
underneath
yeah,
the microscope, and them seeing it, and it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous score,
yeah.
really gorgeous piece of music, and that was the score to the Planet Eater, and I really like that decision. I'm glad that they did that. Not a decision that you typically see. You'd expect the score to be something crazy like we got in Godzilla King of the Monsters
Yeah,
in
yeah.
2019, but instead he did the complete opposite. So that was something that I vastly appreciated
Yeah, I know,
personally.
definitely. I definitely remember the music being all around solid.
I even like Godzilla's theme. I mean, it's just simple, and I love his mentality of this. And I told the guy who's doing the music for the Godzilla saga, John S. Weekly. I told him, look, dude, I want you to make your own Godzilla theme. You're not gonna top Ifukube. You're not gonna top any of these guys. Don't even try. Make your own thing.
Yeah,
And to
yeah,
me, it's quite clear that that's what the composer of the anime trilogy did. He's like, I'm not even going to try to top that. I'm just going to write my own thing.
yeah, yeah.
And to me, that's the best you can be for
I
doing
can agree
something
with that
like that.
100%.
I also, I'm such a sucker for end credit songs.
Are you talking the one in the third one?
I love the one in the third
I
one.
think I liked. I think I liked. If
I
you're
love them all.
thinking
I
of it,
love them
I like
all
the one too.
personally.
Yeah.
My favorite one is the one from the second film, ironically, but I am in love with I'm such a sucker for end credit songs. It's not even funny. Let's see, Martin on chat. Let's see. Oh, John. The third film is definitely the best. Second one is a major letdown. Yes, it also just doesn't make a lick of sense. What happens in it doesn't make a
Yeah.
fucking lick of sense. Let's see, Martin. Let's see. There are talks of more anime Godzilla in the coming future. What are your thoughts on that? Well, considering these movies did not do well in Japan, I think that's on hold.
Yeah, I don't. And even then, like, I don't know what my thought would be on it because it's like, to me, I would like to see another attempt at like a Godzilla anime. I would like to see it, but maybe like, maybe not make that this is over. Make this trilogy. This is done. Make it
Make a whole
its
new
own.
thing.
Make a whole new thing. I would like to see it give it a second chance. Like, I totally would love to. I don't know what they could really do exactly. As long as they make like a meaningful story or something, that's what I think would help it.
Yeah, no. I actually agree. That was actually going to be one of the questions I was going to ask you because you're more of the anime guy.
Wow.
What would you do if somebody said, "Here, you're going to make an anime Godzilla film"?
Fuck. Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you. Whatever the main theme is, yeah, that's going to be in the final fucking battle. Whether it's an orchestral rendition of it or the actual straight main theme, that's going to be there. You just have to accept that.
Hmm hmm
I don't.
Lots of women with big, overly big tits for no
I'm
reason at all.
not going to do that. But uh, what would I do for a Godzilla anime?
Because you would know this more
Yeah,
than me because
I'm thinking. I mean, I think I would definitely bore. I feel like I'm just being cliche at this point. I would be more in line with something like Alien, so, like more of a story like that. That's more personal, I guess. I don't know. It's hard. I would still like definitely want like action, some action and stuff. That definitely should be there, and I think I would like a few monsters in it too.
to me the closest thing we've ever gotten to a true Godzilla anime is Godzilla Final Wars.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I
That is
think you're
that is
100.
like the closest we've come to a Godzilla anime.
I think you're right. Also, definitely something I personally do. This is just a personal thing. Show weight. Like when something hits, I want to see a hit. I want to feel like a truck just hit something. Like that's
Well,
one
that
thing
was one of the things I loved about Pacific Rim.
I was about to say that. You should have let me finish my
Oh, damn
sentence. That is why I love that movie. Is that like when something happens in that movie, it hits.
it.
uh, I
Yeah,
love that movie though.
yeah.
I really do.
Pac Rim is amazing.
Uh,
Okay, so let's
That was
see.
such a
Yeah,
treat. It was such a treat.
it was.
The
And
more
seeing
thinking
it in a
about it.
drive-in theater.
Oh, I wish I got to see that. I mean, I saw it in
Yeah.
IMAX, so that was good too.
Oh,
But
I
like
believe
a
it. Oh, I
drive-in,
fully believe it. It was
a
just
drive-in,
to me, a drive-in
yeah,
really brought out like the old
yeah,
classic.
I can totally see that for that.
Yeah.